from Srivas Nunez on Instagram. Dude, you were one of the people that got buried in the Instagram DMs. So I just found this question today so I can answer it. I wanted to ask you about your implementation process for reducing mash rest times, as this is something that could really increase efficiency in my brewery, efficiency from a time perspective. Specifically for brews like the one I did yesterday, which was a Japanese rice lager, where before each mash, I have to cook the rice in the mash tun for about an hour, then cool it down and mash in after that. Total 2 hours in the mash tun. So here's the deal. Sub out that full-on rice for rice flakes. Rice flakes will be pre-gelatinized, so they will already have gone through that boiling process, broken down, starch is made available. That's what you're doing when you're doing that cereal mash there. And then swap that in. Just swap that into your mash and run it like normal. You might, depending on what your mash temperature is, you might need to extend that, do an iodine test or a starch conversion test. And it might be a good way for you to go. But yeah, I think that would be a great way to do that. Next question comes from, and my apologies for pronouncing names that are unfamiliar to me. There's never any offense mentioned. A question from Wal Belly on Instagram. Hi, Adam. I want to ask if it is possible to can condition beer after a month in a pressurized fermenter. I heavily underpitched Voss, 11 grams in 1 barrel of beer. That's a solid underpitch. And it dried out the fermentation after several days, but unfortunately, I had to keep the beer in the fermenter at 15 psi for a month due to some circumstances. Can I just put some priming sugar and let it sit at ambient to condition it? Thank you, and best regard from Indonesia. Couple of things here. You might actually want to pull a carb on that beer right now and see how much you actually have in there, because regardless of whether or not you might be at full volume, depending on or full CO2 saturation that you want, depending on what temperature that tank is at. But if you've had a beer cold in a fermenter at 15 psi for a while, you got some serious CO2 built up in there. But let's just say that it's ambient or whatever. First of all, at that point, even with that, how vigorous Kveik yeast is, the time for it to drop out of solution, the fact that it's under pressure, and the fact that it's sitting there, your viability is probably very, very low. I would actually look at just trying to finish out the carbonation with head pressure if you need to, and then package. I mean, you could rack it into another tank with a pre-measured amount of sugar and then dose that with a yeast that is specific for bottle conditioning, and then keep that roused as you package those cans. That's an option. I mean, you could do that too, but you'd want to make very sure how much CO2 is in solution already in that fermented beer, and then how much additional CO2 you need to add. Cheers from Indonesia. Yeah, man, that's the direction I would take it. So appreciate the question. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're going to maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.